Another experience that I can remember in 1956 was the Red Cross Gala. I was a GI in Germany at the time, and my Uncle Sam, my literal Uncle Sam, my mother's brother, and his beautiful wife Dorothy were going to be in Monte Carlo for the Red Cross Gala, which is probably the #1 event in Europe as far as the social event is concerned. It usually takes place sometime during July. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember really. And so he invited me down to join him there, or join them there. And I went down and I took my car. I had a 1950 black bullet nose four-door Ford, which was a gorgeous car. And I drove down through Germany and down into Switzerland. I think I was through Basel, Bern, and then started to cross the St. Gotthard Pass, which in those days was just a two-lane, very treacherous trip crossing the Alps, heading south. I blew out my first gear on the pass, and I had to finally get to a rest stop, which was few and far between. And there's no way I could cross the pass without in second or third. And so I reversed the car and drove up the pass in reverse, driving the cars behind me crazy and the oncoming cars more crazy because they were on the outside. And there was some pretty steep drops. And it was a very narrow road. But I crossed the entire peak of the St. Gotthard Pass in reverse. And when I got to the top, I'll never forget, I was able to turn the car around and continue on going forward. When I reached, I went down through Lugano, Lake Lugano, which was absolutely gorgeous, one of my favorite spots in the world, and then crossed into northern Italy, in through Lake Como, down through Milano, as we know as Milan. I was lucky because in those days, if you were an American GI in Europe, you were able to, Esso, Exxon today, but in those days it was Esso, issued you gasoline stamps where you were entitled to pay 15 cents a gallon for the fuel at participating Esso stations all throughout Europe, with the exception of Switzerland. They didn't allow that. And that was pretty good because even back then in 1956, gasoline was equivalent to $3 or $2.50, whatever it was a gallon. And the dollar was worth a lot more then. So gasoline was very, very expensive. And I was able to stop off at these stations all the way down for 15 cents a gallon, and I had a big V8 powered American car, so I wasn't like these little teeny cars that they had in Europe because of the expensive gas. I worked my way through down through Italy, down the west coast of Italy, and into Rome. I'm trying to remember whether I was in Rome first or I went to, no, before I went into Rome, I worked my way down to the border of Monaco, and I crossed through and headed east. I believe it was east. It's a long time ago. My geography isn't that great anymore. And I got to Monaco. I got to Monte Carlo and outside the Hotel de Paris. Now, Monte Carlo in those days was nothing like it is today. Today I've seen pictures of it. It's totally built up. Back in those days, Monte Carlo was the Hotel de Paris and small village and some quaint streets and shops and the summer casino. And the Prince of Monaco was Prince Rainier at the time, and his wife was Grace Kelly. And Grace Kelly was in her 9th month pregnancy with her first child. When I got to the Hotel de Paris, and my car was dirty and beat up because of the trip, the doorman came to me, and I was ashamed almost to give him the car, but I gave him the car, and went into the hotel and found my aunt and uncle out at the pool. And we had big hellos, and my Aunt Dorothy and my Uncle Sam were very ultra conservative people. I don't mean politically conservative. I'm not talking politics now. I mean, they were to bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock every night. And I really can't blame him because his wife was absolutely magnificent. And they believed in everything in order and time, and everything had to be just so. And of course, I was 22 years old, and I hadn't been to Hungary yet or Israel yet, but I was raring to go. And for the first couple of days, I'm going to stop for a moment.